What is up, people? This is the Oracle. We are back online for another Modern Master draft. Today I'm not drafting in a Phantom draft. This is a regular draft. So if there's a good rare to be picked for money, I might just do that. Here it's not really the case. We are just gonna pick Niv Mizzet, which is a pretty sick bomb rare finisher. I actually think a card like Simic Sky Swallower is much better in this set because there's a ton of removal, and you'd rather have something a little bit weaker but tougher to deal with. Niv Mizzet can just get, I don't know, Grizzly Spectacled or pretty much anything, but it's still a good solid bomb rare, and the fact that it has 5 toughness is pretty huge because a decent amount of removal like Ogre Spree, Chandra's Outrage, and even maybe something like Mizu Mortars or Ground Assault might not be able to deal with 5 toughness, sorry, as well as 4 toughness basically. I think 5 is a pretty big number. Alright, good pack here. 2 Mist Ravens, a Dinrava Horror, and an Evil Twin. I think those are the better option. Urban Evolution is pretty good too, but I think I like the blue-black cards more. I think I like Twin and Horror more than the Ravens. A lot of good blue cards, which is nice for us. Hopefully this will be open. I don't actually know if Twin is better than Horror. I think it's quite close, to be honest. I would have just slammed the Twin earlier in my knowledge of the set, but now I'm almost thinking that Horror might just be better. Still gonna go with Twin, but I could see that being wrong. Alright, Agony Warp is great removal. Best card in the pack by a pretty decent margin, I think. I've been pretty impressed with Sin Collector, but I think we just want Warp here. Do like Seagate Oracle quite a lot. Definitely like that more than Serum Visions. Pretty much does the same thing, except you get a body for free. Card is very good. Alchemy is decent, but I don't want more than one in my blue decks. I mean, in my deck, I guess, because you cannot replay that outside of blue. The thing is, it's pretty weak in the, pretty dangerous, I should rather say, in the control mirror, because it's quite often end up with someone milling the other, just because there's so many answers to cards. So it's a risky card sometimes. It's not something you want to be playing in the mirror, I think, and you will face a lot of mirror because, base blue control deck are the best in this set by a pretty large margin. But it's a pretty solid card nonetheless, and I'm happy to play one, but not more. Alright, I don't think this is really a cultist deck. I've been pretty impressed with Ogre Jailbreaker lately. I think the 4/4 body for 4 is just pretty much exactly where you want to be in this set. And even if it cannot attack, it blocks very well pretty much everything. And you are often playing 3 or 4 color control, so you will have most likely 3 or 4 Gilgates if you can. So I think that's pretty good. Grasp is fine. Not sure which one is better. It's kinda close. Again, it's one of these cards. Early in the set, I would have just slammed the Grasp, but now I kind of feel like Jailbreaker might be better, to be honest. And we know that we are probably gonna be black. I'm still gonna pick Grasp though. I think getting some Augur is not too hard. Ooh, I do like Seagate Oracle a lot, but Idiot Charm is great too. There's a chance we don't end up playing red, though Niv Mizzet is strong enough that I probably will do that. Seagate Oracle is slightly safer pick because we know we are blue for sure. It's close. I don't think Charm is willing. I think picking Oracle is a little bit safer, and I don't think it might just even be better than the Charm actually, so I don't mind doing that. Prelate Harmonized, the card is great. Don't think we want to jump into green though. I think I'm just gonna pick Cowering Fear, either for my main or my side, but I'm happy to have one in my, well, not 75, but I guess 45. Hatchling is not my favorite. I think between the Seagate Oracle, maybe Ogre of Bolasses and whatnot, you get enough of these random walls that you don't need to play one that doesn't draw you a card, basically. Ogre Jailbreaker, as I mentioned, is pretty good, though I think quite underrated, so I'm just gonna pick that. The only issue with Jailbreaker is that the 4-drop slot of the curve when you are playing control or mid-range is pretty pretty heavy. There's a lot of things. There's, I don't know, well, Grasp, Evil Twin. There's just a bunch. Well, not Evil Twin is the rare, not the best example, but there's Falconrast Noble that you want to play. There's the Grizzly Spectacle. I just cannot think of everything right now, but I often end up with a little bit too many 4s, so that's a reason why Jailbreaker is also maybe not as exciting. But I think the body and the card is actually quite fine in this set. Could see a matchup where I want 2 Cowering Fears. Maybe I will want some artifact removal. Nothing's really good here. The other Jailbreaker wield. Spell Pierce could be useful, but even the control deck tend to play quite a bit of creatures, like, I don't know, Seagate Oracles and whatnot, so it's fine. It's medium. Sometimes just countering a turn to Signet is just great, though, because sometimes your opponent is gonna keep if they are playing 4-color, maybe they keep Island plus Golgari Signet, and then suddenly if you have Spell Pierce and the Signet, they just cannot cast anything anymore. And yeah, that's something you can do with that. But I think the thing you really care about in the mirror is not letting them resolve Dinrava Horror if possible, and obviously Spell Pierce doesn't really help with that. Interesting choice here. So we have the Sky Swallower, which I just mentioned, which is probably the best threat in the mirror control. One of the better cards in set, actually. I've been extremely impressed with it the more I played with or against it. It's just incredibly hard to beat. Or Terminate, which is great removal. And we do have a pretty big reason to be playing red right now. I don't know. I mean, I could be Grixis with a touch of green for Sky Swallower. That's not really an issue. Like, picking the Sky Swallower doesn't mean I have to rule out the Nif Mizzet. It's really close. Like, a good on-color removal or a great off-color finisher. Though I would not mind being green and picking maybe some Sylvan Rangers. I think I'm just gonna pick Sky Swallower. The card is just amazing. Oh, that's a good pack too. Oracle's decent, but I don't think we want to pick that here. I think we have better options in Spectacle or Rakdos Signet. Outrage is fine, but I think I'm more likely gonna be black than red right now, so I'd rather pick the Spectacle. There's a chance I don't play that. Very small chance, I think, because unless my mana is really bad, I will try to play the Nif Mizzet, but I think I like Spectacle more. Now there's Signet. Signets are really important, especially if we want to go 4 colors. So it's close. I think it's quite close between Spectacle and Signet. I don't really know which one I should pick. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna go with Signet. I think it's safer. And you really want this Signet in these decks. Alright, this is not really a Hellrider deck. The card is good though. We have 2 Guild Gates, but I think we want to pick one of the 2 good uncommon here, Soul Manip or It's a Charm. And I'm gonna go with Soul Manipulation, I think, because again I'm more into blue-black right now than red-blue. And Well, it depends. Both cards are good. This does answer Dinrava Horror, though, which I kinda like. Ras is probably quite good in aggro decks. I'm not the biggest fan of that in a control deck where you cannot reuse the reach it gives you. So I think we'll just pick Guildgate here and start to work a little bit on the mana base, which is currently awful. I don't mind Torch Runner as a defensive card. Flicker, well, we have 2 Oracle, but I don't think this is really gonna be a great Flicker deck. So I think we should either pick Pilfered Plants or Visions. And I feel like Visions is slightly better. I mean, there's also Ground Assault, I guess, which, if we end up playing the green for Sky Swallower, which is likely, is a great removal. So maybe it's actually the right move here. It's a little bit double off color because we are mostly blue-black right now, but I think there's a pretty huge chance I want to try to play Nyth Mizzet and Sky Swallower as my finishers. I don't know, it's close. I feel like Vision is probably slightly safer though. Well, if we do end up playing red and green, we could try to play Thrinax. That seems a little bit greedy maybe though, especially since having, well, Thrinax is good enough that I don't mind casting that on turn 5 or 6. You don't have to play it on turn 3 for it to be good, but it's, you know, splashing for a Sky Swallower, a 7-drop, you know, is fine. Having a green card that costs 3 in your deck is not so appealing, I think. I'm gonna pick Spire Monitor. I think that card is a little bit underrated, not bad. Especially in the Control Mirror, where you might want to leave mana open or play things during their turn, so they have to either let it resolve or use their counterspell. I think the card is fine actually, and a little bit underrated. Here I'm just gonna pick Grotto for a little bit of fixing. I don't really care about anything else. Another Monitor is not bad. Shaman is good, but I'm not so sure about the red, and this is more of an aggressive card, obviously. Alright, so we are definitely base blue-black. We don't have a ton of free invol right now. We might play red. We could easily play, like, if I have just one Signet, one Guildgate, plus a Grotto, I'm just gonna jam the Sky Swallower. Nyth Mizzet is a little bit tougher though because of double red, so I'm not sure about that. We need more fixing, more removal, and some Signet if possible. Night Terrors is great, I think. I think it's a card you should be main decking very often if you are playing black. If I'm playing against another control deck, I want as many as 3 of these in my main. Sure, it's pretty bad if you draw it late when there's a top deck war, but if you can just remove their Dinrava's Horror, Sky Swallower, Urban Evolution, I don't know, the important cards in the mirror, you can just, finish the game as soon as turn 3 because you got what you needed. And it's not even bad against aggressive deck. You can just strip something good, and I've been very, very happy with Night Terrors. Okay, some more fixing is nice for the Nyth Mizzet. Again, I don't think this is going to be a Flicker deck, but that might still be something we will try to do. I kind of doubt it though. We have 2 enters the battlefield effect right now. Probably not. Flicker is pretty good when you are playing Esper control though, because you have more things to do with it. Well, that's a decent pack. Mystic Genesis is really good, especially if you have a couple Spire Monitors. It's really nice to be able to hold up 5 mana, and if they play around, you can still do something. Opportunity is good too. There's a Guildgate, I guess. 2 Guildgates that could be decent. Another Oracle. The pick for us is between Opportunity and Genesis, though. We don't have many card draw spell right now, so I think it's gonna be Opportunity. Also, we are only splashing for Touch of Green, which makes Genesis slightly stronger, but I've been pretty impressed with Genesis. I think Opportunity is just better right here, though. And probably in most cases, it's still a better card. Okay, I do like Ezreal Mage a decent amount. I don't have a ton of 2-drop right now. It's fun early on, it can trade if you need to, it can beat down a little bit. It's great in the control mirror because it's cheap and threatening. It's a solid card. You are happy to draw that early, happy to draw that late. It's good. Now there's a Terminus, which, I don't know, Wrath Effect in the control deck is always something you might want to do. I think at this point, if I can splash for... if I can play a Force Color, I'd rather be playing red. I already have a bit of fixing for red. And trying to play that, plus Niv Mizzet, plus the blue-black, plus Sky Swallower seems like a little bit too much, so... we'll just pick the solid 2-drop. Okay, Simic Signet is good, I definitely want that. I want more Signet, it also helps with the Sky Swallower. It is great. Putrefy. Kinda wanna pick that. Because I don't have a ton of Removal, and Putrefy is a great piece of Removal. And hopefully I can wield the Guildgate. I don't think the Signet is willing, but I think we'll try to pick that. Slightly greedy. I could see picking the Signet being the right move, but... ooh, Urban Evolution is sweet. So I guess we'll be playing slightly more green. I like that more than Chandra's Outrage. Okay, so we got the card draw, a little bit of removal. Now we would just want, if possible, a couple more piece of fixing and Signet if possible. Augur of Bolas is looking, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think the card is fine. I don't love the card, but I think if you have 8 or more, and I'm not saying that because I have 8 right here. It's just, I think I'm happy when I have around about 10 instant and sorceries. I think 8 is the bottom limit. Is it that bottom limit? I don't really want to run that if I have less than 8, but once I have 8 I feel fine. Not super happy, but fine. Ooh, Golgari Signet is a great gift right here. Exactly what we want and need. So I think we'll be a little bit too light on green to play Culling Oracle. It's a good card, but I think you want to be base blue-green to make that good. So I think I'll just pick a second Grotto. Genesis Wield? Well, that's good. I don't mind that. Could see playing Pilfered Plants. I wonder if Rewind is not better, though. Maybe. I think if anything, I'll play Monitor over Rotworm. It synergizes better with Genesis and counterspells in general, the Monitor. And Rotworm, while being fine, is not gonna shine in this deck. It's gonna be a 5-4, but we don't really care a ton about the sacrifice effect here, I think. And I don't think I'm gonna play Electromancer, since I will not play a ton of reds. Maybe I should not even play Niv Mizzet. I think I will still do it because I have 2 Guildgates plus a red Signet, but it is greedy for sure. Might main deck the Cowering Fear, but I think it's probably gonna be our deck. The curve is good. We have the good late game with Sky Swallower, Niv Mizzet. We don't have a ton of threat, but they are solid. It looks like a decent 4-color control deck to my eyes. We have the card draw, the acceleration. We are a little bit light on fixing and removal, I guess. That's the only thing I would change if I could. I think this is going to be the main. We are going to play 16 lands plus 3 Signets. Maybe we should play 17. I kind of like cutting 1 land once I have more than 3 around 3-4 Signets and Sylvan Ranger, which are basically mana. They are colorless, so unless you are really stuck on one land, you can just count them as mana. It's not like, it's not something like, I don't know, maybe a 3 mana Accelerant that you might just not get to cast. Like, sure, it's gonna be clunky if you have one land, one Signet in your opening hand, but in most cases you can just cast these. Alright. Yeah, the deck looks good. Just slightly light on Revolt, but I guess we are playing 3 Counterspell, which is quite a lot. I haven't played that many Counterspell recently, but I've been, again, there's more and more control deck. It's really the matchup I care about, and counters are great in this matchup, so I don't mind being there. Playing Niv Mizzet is greedy, but we gotta be greedy here. We don't need that much black, actually. We don't have any double black since we did not pick a Grizzly Spectacle, which is one of the biggest reason why you might end up wanting more black in your deck. There's not a ton of double black spell other than this one. I guess Night Oak, but it's an uncommon. Alright, so the mana base now. So we need a lot of blue. I think 6 blue should do the trick. 6 blue, probably 5 even, because it's gonna be 7 with the 2 Guildgate, 8 with the Signet. I'm not counting the Grotto. Yeah, 8 without the Grotto seems fine. Yep, that seems fine. I kind of want to go up to 9, but I feel like I will not get to do that. Green, we have 4 green here. 2 Signets, 2 Grotto. Yeah, if I can stay at 2 forests, that'd be good. I can't really play more though. I think I need more red for sure. 2 black seems a little bit light. Yeah. 3 black with the 2 Signet is 5. Plus the 2 Grottos. 7. We don't have any double black that could do the trick. Yeah, the mana base is not great. It is, you know, it's good enough that the deck is not going to be a complete disaster, but it's not great. It's certainly not great. I think this should be fine though, because if we can, we might have a little bit of trouble, and we might just cast our spells a little bit later because we'll need to use the Grotto. But if we do so, if we do count the Grotto in the mana base, this is 7 reds, which is not a ton, but hopefully we'll get to cast Niv Mizzet by turn, I don't know, 8 or 9. 7 black, which seems like enough. I don't have any double black. 6 green and 10 blue. Yeah. We also have, you know, 2 Seagate Oracles, the Serum Visions, some card draw spells. So we have some, you know, some cards that help us, you know, fix the mana, hopefully, because card draw, card selection helps with that. Now, playing Niv Mizzet is making this mana base way worse than it should be. Like, if I could cut 2 plain, 2 mountains, and 2 Guildgates, and yeah, the mana base would be better, but it's sweet. It's sweet. I'm not sure if it's right, but it's sweet, and I kind of want to be doing that. So we'll be playing that for color control. I hope you guys enjoyed the draft. Drop a like if it's the case. Thanks for watching, and see you for round 1.